Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to what you are, return to who you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to what you are, return to who you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Gemar Chatima Tova. Tonight is a night of reckoning. The melodies of Kol Nidre, unlike any other, they rouse us in ways we can't quite explain. And our prayer tonight holds a weight singular in the Jewish calendar. Rabbi Jan Auerbach teaches that praying is more than merely reciting words. It's about encountering aspects of ourselves we rarely, if ever, see, shifting our perspective and seeing all things anew, awakening our spirits and sense of wonder. Prayer is about connection with ourselves, with a community of other seekers, and with something beyond ourselves. On the High Holy Days in particular, our prayer has some additional goals. We're trying to remove our protective armor, our ego, our self-deception, our rationalization, our external and internal makeup, our posturing, anything that keeps us from seeing ourselves as we really are. We're trying to experience both our vulnerability and the true source of our strength. And perhaps most importantly, we're trying to get past our self-judgment and locate a place of gentleness and tenderness, that place where we feel deeply loved and valued and where we feel most loving of others. And we begin our journey to that holy space of reflection and love by welcoming Yom Kippur this evening with our blessing over the candles and a Shehechianu in thanks of all of us reaching this moment together, even virtually, as a community. Page 1, you'll find the candle blessing.
Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai. Yom Tov, להדליק נר של יום טוב. יאי, לי, 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 לי. יאי, לי, 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 לי. יאי, לי, 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 לי. יאי, לי, 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 לי.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of all, who has kept us alive, sustained us, and brought us to this season.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Fills creation. You keep us here. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. You keep us here. Shehecheyanu, you keep us alive. Vekimanu, sustaining our life. Vehigianu lazman hazeh, helping us reach this day. Shehecheyanu, you keep us alive. Vekimanu, sustaining our life. Vehigianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam. Your presence fills creation. You bring us here. Shehecheyanu, you keep us alive. Vekimanu, sustaining our life. Vehigianu lazman hazeh, helping us reach this day. Shehecheyanu, you keep us alive. Vekimanu, sustaining our life. Vehigianu lazman hazeh.
Yom Kippur, the Jewish people's festival of the soul, and Kol Nidre, its sacred portal. A night of deep emotions, a night, as the psalmist wrote, to rejoice with trembling. We rejoice at the sound of Kol Nidre, rhythmic words of release from vows, oaths, and words of and promises to God we fail to keep. We tremble at the melody, music of spiritual amazement. It fills us with awe as we stand before God and Torah. We rejoice that we stand together, strengthened by community in this hour of shared vulnerability and humility. We tremble, for tonight we confess our flaws, admit our imperfection, and acknowledge a power far beyond our understanding. We rejoice that we commit ourselves to great endeavors because we feel so deeply and think so nobly, but we tremble, for we find that our ideals are far greater than our ability. Our promises surpass our might. We rejoice in the freedom that is Kol Nidre's true gift, the freedom to begin a new year without fear of failure, to aspire to be God's image in the world. We tremble because we are mortal. We rejoice in our gratitude for life. We rejoice with trembling and enter Kol Nidre to face our humanity. We rise in body or spirit for Kol Nidre as we remove the Torahs from the ark.
Kol Nidre ve'esrei v'charamei v'konamei v'chinuyei v'chinusei u'shavuot. Din darna ureish tabana Miyom Kippurim zeh ad Yom Kippurim haba. Let Betalin umvutalin La sharim vela kayamin Nidrana La Nidre ve'esarana la esarei u'shavuatana la shavuot. וקונמי וכינויי וכינוסי
We remain standing for our call to worship. You can find that on page 2 of the supplement. You may be seated. Day and night are yours, creative spirit of the universe. The muted colors of twilight, the radiance of dawn. Yours are the spreading wings of light, the deepening shadows of darkness, an ever-changing drama. In the human heart, too, the struggle between darkness and light unfolds. From sunlit heights of generosity, the human heart sinks to the gloomy depths of selfishness. Although we fall, you give us the strength to rise again. You call on those who hurt through word or deed to break free from wrongdoing and return to you. All who hear your call to goodness are embraced. All who reject emptiness and evil find acceptance from you. We come into your presence this night of Kol Nidre, aware that our shortcomings and weaknesses are many. Yet encouraged by your promise of forgiveness, we choose freely the path of repentance, restoring wholeness to our lives and holiness to our world. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of twilight and dusk.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו למדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו וקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך, לעולם לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגן יומם ולילה, ועבדך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
We continue with the Shema below.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בהם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Hear, Israel, in whatever language you can understand, in whatever melodies you need to understand. But hear, listen, the single power that unifies us, that we continue to struggle to know, will be known by us. That unity deserves our respect. We can fully trust no authority but God's. Yet how shall we know that authority? If we love the forces which unify the world with all our strength and passion, that is, if we love with all our heart. If we love that unification of the world enough to lay down our own life, that is, if we can love with all our soul. If we love the unification of the world enough to give up all our material possessions for its sake, that is, if we can love with all our might.
Then these words commanded us today shall be upon our heart, and we shall speak of the Shema with the fire of our passion. By our example, we shall teach these words and deeds to our children and our friends. They will become interwoven in our speech and seen daily in our actions. We shall speak of them when we rise to greet the dawn and when we rest ourselves at night. Some people bind them as a sign upon their hand and for frontlets between their eyes as a symbol of unification. Perhaps soon all of us, both men and women, shall have the courage to bind ourselves to the unification of the world. Yet even now we can write these words as a mezuzah upon the doorpost of our house, that our door might be a gate for love to enter in and for hope of oneness to one day issue forth. By Rabbi Richard Leedy.
Our prayer for redemption into that world of oneness, Mi Chamocha, is on the bottom of page 3. Our prayer for safety, shelter, and gratitude for it. Hashkivenu, our next prayer.
ותקנינו בעצה טובה מלפניך והושיענו למען שמך והגן בעדנו והסר מעלינו אויב דבר וחרב ורב ויגון ורב ויגון
We continue now with our Amidah, and if you are able, we can rise together in body or spirit. Page 4.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibur VeHanora El Elyon Gol Melech Chasadim Tovim Vekonei HaKol Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Goel Livnei V'neihem Leman Shemo B'Ahava Zochreinu L'chaim Melech Hafetz B'Chaim V'chutveinu ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומעטיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממיט ומחיה ומצליח ישועה. מי כמוך ברחמים, זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
We continue with silent prayer. You may be seated. We turn our thoughts and prayers this evening now to our loved ones who need a prayer of healing of mind and body and spirit this Yom Kippur, this Kol Nidre. We take a moment now to gather their names and bring them into our heart before we sing Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Avraham Yitzchak veYaakov, Sarah Rivka Rachel Leah, uYivarech v'rapeh hacholim.
One of the most important books I've ever read, a book that changed the way I think about Jewish civilization, is by Israeli author Amos Oz and his daughter Fonya Oz Salzberger, called Jews and Words. It explores the importance of language in Judaism, making the claim that Jewish continuity has always hinged on utter and written words, on an expanding maze of interpretations, debates, and disagreements, and on a unique human rapport. Ours is not a bloodline, they say, but a text line. And words, therefore, are our sacred inheritance from generation to generation. In fact, words are so important in Judaism that God creates the world through them. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Words are holy vessels of human experience. They hold our love and our pain, our joy and sadness, our hardships and triumphs. They evoke tears. They cause laughter. They boil our anger and separate the holy from the mundane. They create meaning and transfer memory. Rabbi Heschel teaches that words are our tools for bringing holiness or evil into the world. The Holocaust did not begin with the building of crematoria, and Hitler did not come to power with tanks and guns. It all began with uttering evil words, with defamation, with language and propaganda. Words create worlds, he taught. They must be used very carefully. On Christmas Day in 1235, in the town of Fulda, Germany, just about 90 minutes northeast of today's Frankfurt, two parents returned home from Christmas services to find their mill burned to the ground. And tragically, they found the charred bodies of their 5 sons in the ruins. And when they asked around, they were told the Jews did it. This lie, this rumor, with no evidence, ended up inspiring the lynching of 34 Jews in that town just a few days later. And the townspeople didn't stop there. They were so worked up by this lie that they put the children's bodies in a cart and carried them to the Holy Roman Emperor, Frederick II, as evidence of what the Jews had done in Fulda. They walked more than 150 miles, stopping many times along the way to retell this story, to spread this rumor that had already wrongfully taken lives. To his credit, the emperor issued a well-researched edict the following spring that declared the Jews completely absolved of their accusations. Government officials of our day should be so thoughtful. But the edict those months later didn't stop the vicious lie from spreading. 240 years later, in 1475, on Easter Sunday in Trent, Italy, a 2.5-year-old child went missing, and a Franciscan preacher gave a series of sermons claiming that the Jewish community had murdered this child and used his blood to celebrate Passover. This vicious lie, known as the blood libel, has haunted our people for centuries. The rumor spread fast. Before long, a story emerged that the boy's body had been found in the basement of a Jewish home. The Prince Bishop of Trent immediately ordered the city's entire Jewish community arrested and tortured. 15 ended up guilty and burned at the stake. The vicious rumor of blood libel spread despite an intervention from the Pope, inspiring other communities to commit similar atrocities. But this sermon isn't about anti-Semitism. It's about language. It's about the words found in Proverbs that death and life are in the power of the tongue. And the Jewish experience is replete with examples of others using powers of their tongue to degrade us, to spread hatred about us, in many cases to inspire our murder. And that experience should carve into our collective conscience the power of language. Just as our tradition reminds us to treat the stranger with respect because we were once strangers, so too does our tradition treat language as immensely powerful, holding the potential to birth incredible evil or to create a world of holiness. And you might be thinking, well, that's an extreme example. I don't spread gossip that kills. But our tradition actually doesn't distinguish. Lashon hara, evil tongue, gossip, is treated as seriously as murder. We pray in the Amidah to guard our tongues from evil speech and our lips from lies and deceit. And before those who wrong us with words, may we practice silence. The rabbis even teach that God doesn't want to exist in the world of a gossip. Gossip is God repellent. I want you to reflect for a moment as I list some categories of Lashon hara, of gossip, and think to yourself if you relate to these experiences. Have you repeated something negative about another person, even if it were true? Everyone in this room is so lucky I'm not asking you to raise hands. Has someone asked you for gossip about someone else and you obliged? Have you repeated something you knew wasn't entirely true or perhaps embellished a story for flair? Have you shared something harmful or derogatory about another person, something you probably wouldn't say to their face? Have you spoken about another person in any way that didn't uplift their image in the world? The answer is probably yes, for all of us. The reason our tradition has so many rules around Lashon hara isn't only because we intimately understand its power to do evil. It's also because despite that intimate knowledge, we still do it. We're all guilty. We say, it's not that bad. Everyone gossips. It's human nature. But Judaism implores us, do better. There's a Talmudic story of Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel asking his servant to go to the market and fetch something good. And the servant comes back with tongue. And later, the rabbi sends the servant again to fetch something bad. And again, the servant returns with tongue. And the confused rabbi is like, I told you to buy something good and bad. I don't understand. Why did you bring me the same thing twice? And the servant says, from the tongue comes good and bad. When it's good, there's nothing better than it. But when it's evil, there is nothing more evil than it. With every word we utter, we are architects and builders of the world in which we live. In a world so often poisoned by speech, we have the choice, like God, to create a holy world into existence, to speak a holy world into existence. In our morning blessings, we say, Baruch she'amar v'haya olam. Blessed is the one who spoke and the world came into being. And during these days of awe, we ask to be inscribed in the book of life. May we all speak a world into being that deserves our blessing and be inscribed in a book of life crafted with holy words. Tis kula shanim rabot, may we be worthy of our years, and may they be many. Gemar Chatima Tova. With some of our sins of language and speech on our mind, we join together now for Ashamnu, which is on page 5 of the supplement. And we have a tradition of taking a fist and hitting our hearts. I heard teaching recently of that it's like we're knocking on our hearts, like we knock on a door to open up when we recite these sins, asking ourselves to be better. So we will chant together, and if that makes sense to you, we'll join together in that custom as well.
for the wrong that we did under coercion or of our own free will, and for the wrong that we did by turning a deaf ear to the needs of poor people, for the wrong that we did unintentionally, and for the wrong that we did by bandying meaningless vows and resolutions, for the wrong that we did with intention to deceive others, and for the wrong that we did by talking offensively, for the wrong that we did by planning evil, and for the wrong that we did through being slumlords, exploitative employers or merchants, prejudiced, uninvolved, or incompetent educators, citizens who failed to oppose injustices against their fellow citizens, or through being, in any other way, oppressors of human beings.
For the wrong that we did by using sex exploitatively, for the wrong that we did by confessing insincerely, for the wrong that we did by being contemptuous parents and teachers, and for the wrong that we did willfully or by mistake, for the wrong that we did by shedding the blood of innocent people, and for the wrong that we did by misrepresenting or failing to exemplify the ideals of justice and mercy you stand for, thereby defaming your reputation in this world, for the wrong that we did through disgusting speech, and for the wrong that we did by talking without thinking, for the wrong that we did by letting our drives control us instead of controlling them, and for the wrong that we did knowingly or unknowingly.
שלח לנו מחלנו כפר לנו.
For all these wrongs, God of forgiveness, forgive us, let them go, and wipe the slate clean. And may we have the strength to forgive ourselves. For the wrong that we did by denying the truth and by deceiving people, and for the wrong that we did by offering and accepting bribes, for the wrong that we did by dismissing a serious matter with a wisecrack, and for the wrong that we did by slandering our neighbors, for the wrong we did through extortion and the unlawful charging of interest, and for the wrong that we did by being snobbish, for the wrong that we did by talking when we should have kept quiet, and for the wrong that we did through cheap curiosity.
לנו מחלנו כפר לנו.
For all these wrongs, God of forgiveness, forgive us, let them go, and wipe the slate clean, and may we have the strength to forgive ourselves. For the wrong that we did by casting off our responsibilities as Jews and as human beings, and for the wrong that we did in passing judgment on other people, for the wrong that we did by plotting against our fellow human beings, and for the wrong that we did by being stingy, for the wrong that we did by refusing to back down when we knew we were wrong,
for the wrong that we did by jumping at the chance to do evil and by limping at the chance to do good, for the wrong that we did by gossip mongering, for the wrong that we did through perjury, and for the wrong that we did through community divisiveness, through racial and religious bigotry, through intolerance of ideas and lifestyles with which we disagree, and through all other forms of baseless hatred, for the wrong that we did by betraying trust, and for the wrong that we did under extenuating circumstances when we were confused and not fully aware of the significance of our actions.
לנו מחלנו כפר לנו.
Hear our voice, Adonai, our God. Have compassion upon us and accept our prayer with favor and mercy. For you are a God who hears prayer and supplication. Shema Kolenu in the middle of page 6.
Shema Kolenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chos v'rachem aleinu. Shema Kolenu, Adonai וקבל ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו, כי אל שומע תפילות ותחנונים. אתה שמע קולנו, אדוני
The evocative words of Kianu Amecha, our next prayer, encourage and enable us to contemplate aspects of our relationship with God. Father, mother, shepherd, creator, companion, sovereign. Israeli philosopher Rabbi Moshe Halbertal points out that language, unlike painting or sculpture, is an appropriate Jewish medium for representing God because language gives us only a partial description. Art is too fixed, too definite, and too concrete for this task. It tells us too much, and because of that, it's apt to be wrong. But language leaves open spaces in which we can use our imaginations to confront the complexity of the sublime. Middle of page 6.
Kianu Amecha ve'ata malkeinu שהחיינו עמך ואתה מלכנו אנו ממריך ואתה מלכנו
Avinu Malkeinu, illumine for us the path of our life. Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we find the strength to take the road less traveled by? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we come to know the purpose of our existence? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we learn not to live life in vain? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we get out of our indifference? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we distinguish between truth and falsehood? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we find the answers to our questions? Avinu Malkeinu, how shall we gird ourselves with strength to seek those answers? Avinu Malkeinu, be gracious to us, answer us, empower us, give us courage, for the answers are both in you and with you. We rise for Avinu Malkeinu.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kotveinu Besefer Chayim Tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, Chodesh Aleinu, Chodesh Aleinu. Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chodesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu, Shema Koleinu. Malkeinu, Chaneinu v'aneinu Avinu Malkeinu Chaneinu v'aneinu Ki ein banu masim Aseh imanu Aseh imanu Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed ve'hoshienu Aseh imanu Aseh imanu Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed ve'hoshienu
Good evening. I'm Al Corey, a member of the Beth Shir Shalom Board of Trustees. My family, including my wife Jody Reichel, and I have been members of Beth Shir Shalom for over 20 years. Throughout those years, we've enjoyed the warm embrace of this community, which has been the source of many treasured memories, including my son Ethan's bar mitzvah, my daughter Sybil's bat mitzvah, festive holiday celebrations with delicious food, interfaith events with the Macedonia Baptist Church and the local Muslim community, including an iftar that we hosted one year during Ramadan, social justice events such as a visit to the immigrant detention facility in Adelanto, and my own conversion to Judaism. Beth Shir Shalom, the home of the Song of Peace, is a warm and welcoming community, but it is also a building on California Avenue that has served as a warm and welcoming Jewish spiritual home for 80 years. While the sanctuary in which I now stand is beautiful, after 80 years it's time to make some changes to 1827 California Avenue to ensure that it can continue to serve our community long into the future. We're calling this initiative 1827 at 80, and using the card that you got in your High Holy Day gift bag, or by going to the temple website, you can donate whatever amount you feel comfortable contributing. We want 100% participation, and we want to hear everyone's ideas for our 1827 wish list, so that we can begin to draw up a list of priorities. And now it's time for some announcements. There will be a whole series of virtual Yom Kippur activities online throughout the day tomorrow. You can find the links for all these activities on the temple website. We'll begin with Yom Kippur morning services at 9:30, which will be followed by Hip-Hop High Holy Days at 11:30, in which Rabbi Alex will use music to help us reflect on the days of awe. Then at noon, Jody will lead a virtual discussion of Rabbi Alex's and Rabbi Emeritus Neil's High Holy Day sermons. At 1 o'clock, you'll have an opportunity to watch a film entitled Joachim Prinz, I Shall Not Be Silent, about the life of Rabbi Joachim Prinz, a leader in the civil rights movement. At 2, there will be a movie debrief on Zoom led by Lainey Lepus. The Days of All will then conclude with the Nila Yitzkor services starting at 3:30 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. There are a ton of additional happenings scheduled for the next month, and you can find complete information in the weekly emails and on our website. I'll just mention a few, starting with this Friday, September 17th, when our weekly Shabbat in the Gan will begin at 5:30 with a BYO picnic dinner, during which you'll have the opportunity to help decorate the sukkah. Then the following Friday, September 24th, we'll have our Sukkot, Shabbat, and community barbecue, with the barbecue beginning at 5:30. Everybody is welcome, but please don't forget to RSVP. Looking a bit further ahead, Saturday, October 9th is our all-day community retreat at the Shalom Institute in Malibu. You should have just received an email about this yesterday containing an RSVP link. I encourage everyone to attend, as there will be activities appropriate for all ages. And don't forget about Torah Cafe every Saturday at 9:30 a.m. and Rabbi Alex's thought-provoking God class every Sunday at 10 a.m. Don't worry about your grade in any of those courses. Rabbi Alex is an easy grader. I'd like to remind you about our food drive in collaboration with the West Side Food Bank. We're only collecting cereal this year, and any kind of unopened, completely enclosed cereal is welcome. Please drop off your contribution in our lobby by this Sunday, September 19th. Finally, I want to give my heartfelt thanks to our professional staff, our talented musicians, including Cantor Rebecca, our dedicated volunteers, and the inimitable Rabbi Alex Kress for putting together and pulling off this wonderful High Holy Days program. Thank you for your attention. Gamar Chatima Tova. May you be inscribed for good in the book of life.
Thank you, Al. Everyone's giving him. We begin our concluding prayers with Aleinu on page 8. Please rise if you are able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבהי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We turn our thoughts now to our loved ones who are no longer with us, those we know and those we don't, that we lost in the past year and seasons past. And we take their memories into our hearts this Kol Nidre. We join together in Kadisha Tom. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, Bi'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chaye chon u'v'yomei chon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bi'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yehi shlama Rabbah min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
May their memories continue to bring you joy and light your path forward. And together we say, Amen.
Amen.
We conclude tonight with a song, Tikkun, about repairing the world, our task in the year to come.
Turn it on too. Oh, never mind. Start again. Rain is drumming on my roof, lightning flashing outside my door. Thought I heard the ocean give out a mighty roar. The sun is crying tears of pain, the moon turns away in shame. If we don't learn the game, the stars won't shine for us again. We are only one world in the galaxy, only one world, and why can't we make a heaven here on earth and live in perfect harmony? In one world, Tikkun. In one world, Tikkun. In one world, Tikkun olam. People struggling high and low, mountains choking and the rivers glow. Creatures got nowhere left to go, the planet's about to blow. There's only one thing we really need, right action in thought and word and deed. One moment in time to make a choice, one moment in time to raise our voice. We are only one world in the galaxy, only one world, and why can't we make a heaven here on earth and live in perfect harmony? In one world, Tikkun olam, 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 Tikkun olam. In one world, in one world, Tikkun olam, Tikkun olam.
Gamar Chatima Tova. We will see everybody in the morning.